Okay, class, let's proceed to Module 5. Okay, Module 5 talks about crimes for violation of domicile. Okay, ano yung domicile? What is domicile? This is your residence, your abode, your tirahan, imuhang balay. Okay, this is domicile. As I said earlier, no, that the person has the right to be secured or right of abode, no, tumira. And corollary to that, or in connection to that right, is that the right to be secured in your own property, no. Ibig sabihin, nobody has the right to invade your privacy, to invade your home without a proper judicial order, okay, through what we call a search warrant. Okay? This is a topic of criminal procedure, and it is very important topic. There are so many requirements laid out by the law and jurisprudence on how to properly secure a valid search warrant. But that is not what we're going to discuss right now. Let us focus on the three crimes under this violation of domicile. First is the Article 128, violation of domicile. Article 129, search warrants maliciously obtained. And then Article 130, searching domicile without witness. Okay? So, what is this violation of domicile? Let's discuss each element. The first element, I'll just read the three elements, and then let's discuss one by one. The first element is that the offender is a public officer or employee. The second element is that he is not authorized by judicial order to enter into the dwelling or bahay. Dwelling is bahay or tahanan, and or to make search therein of papers and other effects, other things, okay? And then that he commits any of the following acts. And number 1, entering any dwelling against the will of the owner. Number 2, searching papers or other effects found therein without the previous consent of the owner. Number 3, refusing to leave the premises after having surreptitiously entered said dwelling and after having been required to leave the same. Okay, let's discuss one by one. The first element, the offender is a public officer or employee. What do you mean? Yun, trabante ng gobyerno, no? Trabante ng gobyerno, opisyalis ng gobyerno, but it really pertains to those who has authority to conduct searches. So, sino naman yon? Mga police officer naman. So, you need to really understand this because this is also one of those crimes that the police officers are prone to committing, okay? Violation of domicile. The second element, that he is not authorized by judicial order to enter the dwelling and or make search therein for papers and effects. Okay? So sabi ko nga, search warrant. Before anyone who is not invited to your home, no, has the authority to enter and search the premises, dapat may search warrant. Okay? And the search warrant is not blanket authority to search, no. Yung search warrant should be limited only to the space. For example, if it's a 3-story building, so if sabi lang ng warrant ground floor lang ang i-search, ground floor lang, okay? So pag exceed nandyan, then you are violating a law. But in this case, violation of domicile, let's focus muna. Pumasok ka sa bahay na walang search warrant, okay? And then number 3, after you enter the house, you are either committed either one of these 3, okay? Number 1, entering the dwelling against the will of the owner. Pumasok ka kahit pinagbawalan ka, okay? So that's it. Public officer ka, wala kang search warrant, pumasok ka kahit pinagbawalan ka. Number 2, or another act punishable under this Article 128 is nag-search or naghahanap ka ng mga papeles or other things wherein you are not authorized to do so. Like for example, you were a police officer no, pumunta, ma'am, may hinahanap po kaming kriminal dito, pwede ba namin tignan yung kusina ninyo? Sabi naman ng tao, okay. So you entered the dwelling even without warrant, no? Even without warrant but with consent, okay lang 'yon. But anong sabi mo? Pumasok ka sa bahay to check the kitchen, to check the kitchen. Pinapasok ka, pinuntahan mo sa kitchen, pinupunta kayo sa kitchen, no? You were allowed to enter the house and go to their kitchen. After seeing the kitchen, you saw no one, no? Hindi mo nakita yung gusto mong hanapin na tao. Then you proceeded, no, to go to their rooms, to their CR, pinaghahalongkat mo yung office table niya sa bahay, no, or ano bang ginagawa mo, nag-search ka doon sa bahay niya without his or her consent, then you also violated the domicile, although you were allowed entry, but it is only for a specific purpose. You were not authorized to do search, so it's still a violation under Article 128. Number 3, refusing to leave the premises after having surreptitiously entered said dwelling and after having been required to leave the same. Anong ibig sabihin ng surreptitiously, no? Surreptitiously, sa Bisaya pa, kanang, sabi ng surreptitiously, parang there is an element of deceit, no? Parang, how do I explain surreptitiously? Let me surreptitiously. Parang okay. Surreptitiously, other than the concept of deceit, parang pumasok ka in secret, no? Pumasok ka lang na hindi ka authorized and in secret, parang incognito ka lang pumasok, okay, surreptitiously, and then you were asked to leave, no, the premises, and you still refuse to leave the premises, then you have committed a violation of Article 128, violation of domicile. Okay, very simple lang naman, no, very simple, but you have to familiarize the elements. Then search warrants maliciously obtained. Okay, the title itself provides for the elements. Number 1, no, there are 2 punishable acts under Article 129: search warrant maliciously obtained and abuse in the service of warrant legally obtained. Okay, those 2 actions are punishable under 129. The first act, no, public officer ka. Again, this is the common denominator element, that is common denominator, no, na public officer ka or employee, and then you procure a search warrant because as the police officer, ikaw yung mag-a-apply, no, ng search warrant, no, kasi ikaw yung complainant. In criminal cases, no, most of the time it is the police officer who will execute an affidavit of complaint. So ganon, so nag-a-apply kayo for search warrant, and then na-procure nyo without just cause. Okay, you have fabricated stories, sinungaling kayo sa affidavit of complaint nyo para lang maka-obtain kayo ng warrant. So that is punishable under Article 129. In the other hand, another act punishable under Article 129 is abuse in the service of warrant. So again, there is a element that the person or the offender is a public officer or employee. In this case naman, legal ang pagka-procure ng search warrant. However, the third element provides that the person who has a valid search warrant exceeded his authority or used unnecessary severity in executing the same. Ito na nga yung sinasabi ko, no? A police officer is empowered, no, to search what do you call this, a building, no, a 3-story building, but ang sinabi lang dun sa what do you call this, search warrant is that you can only search the first floor or the ground floor. Sinerch nyo pati yung second and third floor. This happens, no? There are so many cases that happens that involves this search abuse in the service of warrant. Ang sinabi lang doon is search the office space. Pumunta kayo sa kusina, pumunta kayo sa bedroom, pumunta kayo sa anywhere. That is invalid search, no? That is an invalid search. So you are still punishable, or you can still be punished under Article 129. Now, Article 130, searching domicile without witness, ito naman, no, public officer or employee ka, same example or the same element. The next element is that he is armed with search warrant legally procured. Similar sa kanina, okay? I already explained it. That he searches the domicile, papers, or other belongings of the person. Obviously, kasi may search warrant ka. So, you executed properly the search warrant. However, no, when executing a search warrant, pumasok kayo nang wala yung owner. Okay? Wala yung owner ng bahay. Or wala two witness residing in the same locality. Kasi for example, you are about to search a house, you need to still serve, no? Parang dapat mo parang ibigay yung search warrant mo sa may-ari. Okay, Mr. A, this is a search warrant for us to search the entire house that you own. Okay, so you pakita mo yung search warrant. Then you can execute. Pag wala si Mr. A, no? Wala si Mr. A and you need to execute the search warrant, you need to have two witnesses, no? Of two residents residing in the same barangay. Okay? So, kung for example, barangay, ano bang mga barangay na alam nyo dyan sa Manila? I'm not very familiar. Let's say, for example, in Cagayan de Oro, we have what we call Barangay Makasandig. So, if ang bahay na isi-search is in Barangay Makasandig, then you have at least two witnesses who came from or who are residing in Barangay Makasandig for you to effectively execute and properly execute the search warrant. Absence of those witnesses, either the owner of the house or the two witnesses residing in the same locality, then you will be held liable under Article 130. Okay, yun lang. Very simple. But let us answer these guide questions lang, no? Maybe I will ask this in your exam. Okay? What is meant by authorized with judicial order? Ang ibig sabihin lang, may warrant, search warrant ka. Okay? Authorized by judicial order. The order is by a virtue of a search warrant. Number 2, what crime is committed when the punishable act in Article 128 is committed by a private person? So, violation of domicile, di ba? Public officer, nag-search, pumasok sa bahay, nag-search na walang warrant of arrest, na walang valid na warrant of search warrant, walang valid na search warrant and walang consent. That is violation of domicile. Ang question, paano pag ang nag-commit ng offense na yun is a private individual? Okay? So anong tawag doon? Trespass to dwelling. Okay? Trespassing. Pag private individual ang pumasok na walang search warrant or without consent, trespassing. Okay? Then, what is the effect if the search warrant is secured through a false affidavit? The person who executed a false affidavit shall be held guilty for the crime of perjury. Okay? For a crime of perjury. Ibang klaseng na naman yan. We will discuss perjury in the succeeding modules. When search considered illegally obtained, when the search is procured without probable cause. Discussion of probable cause in search warrant, crim pro. I don't want you to I don't want you to be confused, no? So let's not talk about probable cause. What is the order of those who must witness the search? Ibig sabihin, there is an order of preference. Hindi like the order of preference is the homeowner, member of the family of sufficient age and discretion, then responsible member of the community. Okay, what do you mean by the order? For example, no, may search warrant. Yung may-ari ng bahay nandun naman, no? sa bahay. Pero gusto mo na i-effect yung search. Nagdala ka ng dalawang witness. Hindi mo na pinakita yung search warrant mo sa may-ari ng bahay, pumasok ka na lang and then you effect the search. Because according to you, may dalawang witness naman ako ng mga residents sa the same locality, no? Hindi yan pwede. Okay? I repeat, hindi yan pwede. Because there is what we call order of preference of witnesses during search. Dapat kung nandun yung may-ari ng bahay, siya mismo ang maging witness ng search. Pag wala yung may-ari ng bahay, any members of the household of sufficient age and discretion. Ibig sabihin, 18 years old and above, and those who are mentally capable, no, may discernment. Kasi 18 years old nga but mentally retarded, hindi yun pwede. Okay? And then pag wala yung homeowner, wala na yung family member, saka na yung mga kapitbahay or silingan. Okay? That's it. So that's all for Module 5. Thank you.